let's consider this particular system. First, I'm going to rearrange both of these equations. I want to get them in y equals mx plus b form. That way I can compare their slopes and y-intercepts. 6x minus 4y equals 18. I'll call that equation 1. Negative 15x plus 10y equals 30. I'll call that equation 2. Let's consider equation 1. 6x minus 4y equals 18. I want to get y by itself on the left-hand side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the 6x on the left-hand side. To do that, I'm going to subtract 6x from the left-hand side. But because I subtract 6x from the left-hand side, I must also subtract 6x from the right-hand side. 6x minus 6x is 0. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to have 0 minus 4y. On the right-hand side, I'm going to rearrange this piece. Instead of writing 18 minus 6x, I'm going to write it as negative 6x plus 18. 0 minus 4y on the left is negative 4y, and on the right I've got negative 6x plus 18. Negative 4y means negative 4 times y. So to get the y by itself, I'm going to divide the left-hand side by negative 4. But because I divide the left-hand side by negative 4, I must also divide both pieces on the right-hand side by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, and 1 times y on the left is just going to leave me with y. On the right, this piece, negative 6x divided by negative 4, that will be 6 over 4x. The negative over a negative gives me a positive. This piece, 18 divided by negative 4, well, I can think about that as negative 18 over 4. But remember, there's a plus sign here in the middle. So I've got plus a negative 18 divided by 4. That's going to be minus 18 over 4. So I get y equals 6 over 4x minus 18 over 4. Now the 6 over 4 and the 18 over 4 can reduce. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 goes into 18 9 times, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So I get y equals 3 over 2x minus 9 over 2. And that equation now is in the y equals mx plus b form. Let's consider equation 2. Negative 15x plus 10y equals 30. Well, I want to get y by itself on the left-hand side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the negative 15x on the left-hand side. To do that, I add 15x to the left-hand side. But because I add 15x to the left-hand side, I must also add 15x to the right-hand side. Negative 15x plus 15x is going to be 0. So on the left-hand side, I'll have 0 plus 10y. On the right-hand side, I'm going to rearrange this 30 plus 15x, and I'm going to write that as 15x plus 30. 0 plus 10y on the left will be 10y, and on the right, I'll have 15x plus 30. 10y means 10 times y. So to get the y by itself, I've got to divide the left-hand side by 10. But because I divide the left-hand side by 10, I must divide both pieces on the right-hand side by 10 as well. 10 divided by 10 is 1, so I'm going to have 1 times y on the left, which is just going to be y. And on the right, I'm going to have 15 over 10x plus 30 over 10. Now the 15 over 10 and the 30 over 10 can reduce. 5 goes into 15 3 times, and 5 goes into 10 twice. And 30 divided by 10 is 3. So I end up with y equals 3 over 2x plus 3. Now the second equation is in y equals mx plus b form. Now let's compare both equations. The slope of the first equation is 3 over 2. The slope of the second equation is also 3 over 2. So we have same slopes. Let's look at the y-intercepts. The y-intercept of the first equation is negative 9 over 2. The y-intercept of the second equation is plus 3. So they have different y-intercepts. So we have same slopes, different y-intercepts. That means that these lines, if we were to graph them, they would be parallel. So there are no solutions to this system.